Okay. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Oria Ahmedi, and I am not the one that's going to be doing the training on the harmonic scanner this evening, but my dear friend Tommy is going to be doing tonight's session as he does every Wednesday. Just a little bit about Tommy. Besides that he's Italian, short, and one of the sweetest people I ever know. You know, he was born with many, I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3, I mean, many disabilities, couple, but he's got many. But his disabilities, as he became an adult, has really turned into his gifts, the way he teaches, the way he builds things. I'm not going to take too much away from who he is and his story. I want to leave a little bit for him. So please help me welcome my dear friend, Tommy, to our Wednesday night party session. Tommy.
Hey, Aria, thanks a lot. I appreciate the, I don't even know what I'm going to call that. I guess that's an introduction, but it's good. You know how much I love you. But yeah, so just a couple of things for people who might be new on this session. Just want to let you know, I'm pretty much a trader. I'm a happy subscriber to IML like the rest of us. Been doing this for about a year. And I've had, you know, different types of results. And I found a couple of tools that, you know, I really enjoy. But just before we get started, disclaimer, 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 past results do not guarantee future success. We're not going to be calling trades. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm just going to show you some of the things that I've come to understand about the harmonic scanner, some of the tools that I use and why I use them. And so there. And, you know, Oria alluded to a couple of things. You know, I tell people that I'm living proof God's got a good sense of humor, because when I was 2 years old, I assembled my first mechanical device. And, hey, Oria, do I have the controls here? Did you pass the ball over to me?
I'm doing it right now. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for you in the chat. There we go.
I'm right here. I'm the guy with the hat on.
Yeah. It is so cute. Okay. It is all you.
All right. I'm looking at my little, see my control bar. All right, guys, just give me a second. Yeah, I'm looking to share my screen, and I don't see my screen share. Oh, there's my screen share. Okay, cool. Get that into it. Sure. Yeah. So, like I was saying, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm really living proof that God's got a good sense of humor, because I have this very acute skill to build stuff, but I was also blessed with dyslexia, you know, several learning disabilities. And when I went to school, they just thought I was stupid, because, you know, for me, cat was T was C, and it made good sense to me, right? So I basically found a way around that. I found different ways to learn things, and, you know, I understand things in a little different way as well. So, and I basically learned to use these, what other people will call disabilities, I just kind of call, you know, turn them into a blessing. So we're going to start with that. So I have the harmonic scanner up. I believe you all should be able to see it. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can see the harmonic scanner.
No.
No, you can't see the scanner?
No,
No.
it's your iMark.
No, can't see it.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my little driver control thing up here again. Share and... How about now? Do we have a scanner?
Yes, yes.
That scanner.
Hooray! Yay! That's, you have to be able to get to the scanner to talk about the scanner, so that's always good. So yeah, so really cool. Just for people who haven't even seen it before, you go into your back office, you open it up, and on the lower left-hand side, you'll see the opportunity to click on the harmonic scanner. You go and do that, and another sign-on screen comes, and you put in your username and password again, and this is the screen you come to. So over on the far left-hand side, there's a list of brokers. This one is Trader's Way. So when you click on a broker and you come and you see this box, it tells you which broker and which pair. So let's just do this guy for a minute. Okay. And see, this is XCOM, whoever that broker is, and this is the Euro NZD, as I refer to as EN. And this is a deep crab. Very cool. I don't really care what the picture looks like. I just like the fact that the scanner in the background is running these algorithms that find pairs that are in motion. So why is it important to have a pair in motion? Because we get paid when they move. If a pair is flat, like over here, see how there's not a whole lot of motion in this pair at this point in time? People refer to this as consolidation. Here we had a big move, and somebody made a boatload of money on this move. This move on this one candle, this is a 4-hour chart. In this 4-hour time period, man, that's 114 pips. You can pay your mortgage with 114 pips. So just to give you guys some perspective. So what is this thing telling me? So I went over here, I clicked my broker. I like using the long scans, the 1 hour, 4 hour, and a day, because it gives you a larger overall view of the market. And it's telling me that we have this bat pattern, which is really kind of cool. And you'll notice that your stop loss is under the current price. And your take profits are above. So I'm looking for this pair to go into a buy, right? Because the stop loss is below. If the stop loss was above and my take profits were below, I'd be going into a sell. So now my entry price is at 1.301. I've made my entry. So if I just clicked in these numbers into my broker as the Harmonic scanner indicated, I would be in this trade and I would be up a pip. Cool. Nothing to get nervous about. Life is good. The scanner is accurate 8 out of 10 times. So if anyone just wants to use the scanner and just click in what you're being told, you're going to have a happy life. And when I got started, things were going really good because I was just doing what I was told. Now, Oria said this in the beginning, I'm Italian. I'm from New York. Doing what you're told doesn't really go good with being Italian. Doesn't really go good with being from New York. So the way my mind works is you're going to tell me I got to do something. I want to at least know why. Why is that going to happen? I had no idea. But I was able to make about $5,000 when I first got started just by taking these trades. And I went through the basics with the Daisy Duncan, immediate, intermediate, all that stuff. I'm not a big drawing on the chart guy. I don't like marking up charts. Just the way it is. So I didn't really, fall in love with that type of indicator. But what I realized is after I made $5,000, I kind of lost $5,000. And I realized that the winning part is fun, but the losing part really stinks. So how can I use my my skill set, for lack of a better term? We all have a skill set, right? Some people can read a book one time, they know everything in the book. Some people can get a PhD in whatever they study. Awesome, great learners. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm not that guy. I learn with my hands. I have to get in there and do. So I realized where I really needed to be is I needed to be in demo, and I needed to be in demo for a long time. Because when I first got started, I thought demo was like purgatory. How long I got to be here before I can make some money, right? It's like I got sentenced to purgatory. I got sentenced to demo. And that kind of mindset, man, that'll crush you. if I can give you guys one thing, if you're starting new, understand that demo is your best friend. You know, I tell people that demo is the gymnasium of the foreign exchange. It's where you go to work out to build up your Forex muscles. Because now when I look at a chart, I can look at it and I can garner a bunch of information out of it just from repetition. And I could look left, look right, place a trade. I look left, I see what happened in the past. I look right, see what's about to happen here, what my indicators are telling me. I place my trade. My scanner tells me what's in motion. I love the scanner. And we go from there, right? So tell me, how the hell you get to that point? Well, you go into your demo account, and if you're going to start your real account with like $1,000, get your demo set up for $1,000. Don't be trading on a $15 million account, and then when you're planning to get started, you're going to be trading in micro lots. So, and if people here are so new that you don't understand the terminology, you need to get with Daisy Duncan, hang out with her for however long it takes to come up to speed on the nomenclature, what we're talking about. And what I'm showing you here is going to click when Daisy, fills in the dots. If you've got questions, drop them in the chat. We have a couple of fantastic traders. Debbie's on here, a couple other people on here. Answer some questions if I don't see your question. So why do I want to be in demo? I want to be in demo because when you're winning in demo, you're learning the lessons that are going to allow you to win with real money. You need to learn how to lose before you can learn how to win. Anyone understand that? Because if you can't take a good shot in the jaw, you got no business being a boxer. Right? If you can't get tackled, you have no business being a running back. If you can't get hit by a wild pitch, you got no business playing baseball. You feel me? That's just the way life is. The foreign exchange is no different. But don't take a shot in the jaw with Benjamin Franklin. Leave Benjamin alone. Get in your demo account. Blow your demo account 6 times. Woohoo! But you know what? You learn something. You learn something every time you screw up. I'm here doing all the talking because I screwed up more than you people. That's all. But in my journey through my screw-ups, I filtered out some of my mistakes, and I came up with something for me that works pretty good, right? So let's go through this chart a little bit, and let's see what the scanner is telling us. This is basically an algorithm that runs in the background. An algorithm is a really fancy word for a math, formula, and it's constantly looking at the math that's going on in the background on a trading view chart. This is basically built on a trading view chart, and we own it and we give it to you guys. We as an IML, right? So how many times you talk to somebody about, hey, you want to learn how to trade? Oh, I'm not good in math. You don't have to be good in math. The harmonic scanner is good in math. I just got to learn how to use the harmonic scanner. I'm not good in math. I got freaking dyslexia. 100% transparency here. I trade JPY pairs. That's it. You know why? Because they only got 3 decimal places. And those 2 other decimal places, when I look at 5 decimal places, my mind shuts down. So I do JPYs because there's 3 decimal places. Can you make money? Hell yeah. Right? I didn't blow the account, but I went down, I grew up 5,000, went back down to like next to nothing, tossed in $100, and went into demo, learned my lessons, and took that 100 and made 30 grand. Now, that's not a whole lot of money in the greater scheme of things in this environment, but I never had a hobby or a pastime where I could take $100 and turn it into 30,000 anything. So that got me pretty excited, right? So here's the thing. Let's see what the scanner's telling us, right? So I come in here, we look over here, we see it's a GU, Great British Pound, US dollar, 4-hour chart. There's a bat pattern. I don't care. I just know it's in motion and it's a pattern. And it's telling me this is going to be in a buy. Now, let me just click this guy off to the side. So here we also have an RSI. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index, RSI. And you see the 14? This 14 means it's doing its calculations on the last 14 candles of whatever the time frame is, which is 4 hours. Each one of these candles is 4 hours. So this lower mark on the RSI is at the 30 percentile. It goes up to 70 percentile. When you're down below 30, that means the pair is in an oversold position. That means everybody and their mother sold it. Now what happens? That means people have been taking out their profit. I'm selling, I'm taking my money, I'm going away. When it's above the 70 percentile, it's an overbought position. That means everyone bought it because the price was really low, and that drove the price up. So what's about to happen? It's going to reverse. It's going to go in the other direction. The only thing is we don't know when. So I'm going to scrunch time here a little bit, and I want you just to look at the RSI. So we're going to go back here. This is back April. This is really cool. If you look at the cursor down at the bottom, that's the date. 0401 at 1200, at 1600, at 00 next day, right? So this is time, and this is activity. So right around here, it was flopping around down in the oversold position, couldn't quite make up its mind. But if you carry the cursor up and you look what it's doing in the candles, they are going to correspond. Now, why is that important in real time? Because if I'm thinking about getting into this trade, I want to have all the information I could possibly have. All right? I could take my 80% and just do what I'm told. I'm too Italian for that. So I want to look and see what my RSI is telling me. My RSI is pretty flat. It's towards the oversold position, which is good, because if it's towards the oversold position, sooner or later, it's going to go towards a buy. My scanner is telling me what? It's going to go towards a buy. So those are two indicators that are telling me the same story. I like when my indicators tell me the same story. So again, this is on the trading view chart, right? It's telling me my take profit 1 is going to be here, my take profit 2 is going to be here, take profit 3 is there. Now what I did in the beginning, I'm like, cool. My scanner says this, I'm going for take profit 3, I walk away, and I win and I lose. I just got tired of losing. I didn't lose often, I just don't like losing. So I modify this. What I do is I come in here, I only want 5 pips. I know. People's heads are popping off the shoulders right now. Tommy, what do you mean 5 pips? Look at this move. Look at all of this. This is money you're leaving on the table. Look at this. From here to here. Boom. Look at all them pips, man. 100 pips. How come you're taking 5? Why am I taking 5? Because when I take 5, they're in my damn account. And I got them. And they mine. I own them. Do you think I'm going for 5 pips on micro lots? I did in the beginning. You know what 5 pips is when you're trading lots of 100? That's 5 grand. You know how you get to trade in lots of 100? You pay freaking attention with the micro lots. You learn your lesson in demo. Because the same skill that you use in your demo account in micro lots is the very same skill when you're trading in lot sizes of 100. I'm not telling you to trade in lot sizes of 100. I'm telling you, I'm in this for the long haul. I want to play the long game. I learned my lessons in micro lots. Now I'm trading in standard lots. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. I'm going for 5 pips on here. So just to give you some perspective on what 5 pips is, here's my entry point. See that line? That's 6.5 pips. That's 5. Oh man, Okay, let me blow this up. Let me blow this up. Okay, this is as big as it's gonna go. So here's my entry. Get my ruler back. See that wick? I'm 3 pipettes away from cashing out already. Here's my point. My point is, if the scanner believes it's going to go up 100 pips, can you get freaking 5? I think so. So let me pull in some additional tools, because I don't like just taking one person's opinion about anything. Like, even when I go to dinner, I want to know what everybody else is having before I order. I just like knowing. So I can come over here, and I go to indicators. Does everybody see that? Shake some heads, yes. Give me some idea that we're all together here. All right, cool. Cool beans, all right? So I'm going to click on the indicator, and I'm going to go visit Mr. Bollinger, B-O-L. Bollinger Band, invented by John Bollinger. Look him up, learn about him. The guy's a freaking genius. So let me scrunch this down a little bit so we can see how a Bollinger Band works. So what is a Bollinger Band? It's an additional tool. It's an additional signal. And I want to see if it's telling me the same story as the harmonic scanner. So this is the way this works. The Bollinger Band, the top blue line is the average high, the bottom blue line is the average low, and the red line is the median, is the mean. The market likes the mean. It likes to return to the mean. If I scrunch this down, you're going to see that the price goes to the high, through the mean, to the low, high, low, and it's just crossing through the mean all the time. That's what it does. That's all it does. So where am I in my Bollinger Band? I am at the low edge of the market. Where does it want to go? It wants to go to the mean. Is that a buy or a sell? In order for it to return to the mean, it's got to go into a buy. What is the scanner saying? The scanner is saying, dude, it's going to be a buy. Huh. Okay. My Bollinger Band's telling me the same thing. I like. Now I got another indicator telling me the same thing. I like that. I'm in love. I just don't know when. This doesn't tell me when it's going to happen. It tells me what it believes is about to happen. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change my screen color a little bit. I'm going to right-click on here. I'm going to go to Properties. And I'm going to do my background. I'm going to make it a little bit darker because I'm going to pull in some other indicators that are hard to see in a white background. I trade on a black screen. That's just my personal preference. So I'm going to come back over here to my indicators, and I'm going to type in SAR. SAR stands for stop and reverse. Who likes that idea? Now, I need to come over here, and I need to format this. A master trader told me to change these 2s to 3s. I don't change anything unless it's by the direction of someone who knows a whole lot more than me. And this guy yellow. Huh. Now, can everybody see my little yellow crosses here? SAR. Yeah. Good. SAR stands for stop and reverse. When the SAR is above the price, that means the pair is in a sell. When the SAR is below the price, that means the pair is in a buy. So, do I have a conflict? Yep. Now my SAR is telling me, dude, this thing's still in a sell. Huh. I like using 2 of them. So let's do SAR. And on this guy, I'm going to make this guy red. Punch him up. big crosses. My inputs here are going to be 06, 06, boom. Ha! Now, the reason why I do this is because the SARs I use, like the red one's like an early warning system. The red ones always flip first. And then the yellow ones, that's my go-to people. That's my super, super cautious, indicator. And because everybody has a different tolerance for pain, right? You ever see those guys that have a candle and they can put the hand right over the candle, for some reason they don't get burned? They have a high tolerance for pain. Same thing in the market. Some people don't mind putting their money at risk. I'm not that guy. So I have an extra SAR. I call it slow acting, the yellow SAR, and the fast acting, the red SAR. So what happens is when the price comes and touches the cross is going to bounce to the other side. And it's going to do what? It's going to be going into a buy. Now let's go back in time and let's just look at some of this stuff. Look over here. You'll see both my SARs came and touched, the price came and touched, and on the very next candle, boom, I got a flip. So here, it's telling me that when this SAR comes and touches this candle, it's going to tell me it's a what? It's a buy. Who else is telling me it's a buy? The Harmonic scanner. Who else is telling me it's a buy? Johnny Bollinger. The Bollinger Band's telling me it's a buy. And at that point in time, maybe I'll get some action out of my RSI. I'm hopeful that the RSI will be pointing up, going towards the oversold position. Right? So what am I doing with this information right now? Nothing. I'm not taking this trade. I'm not taking this trade until I get at least my red SAR on the bottom of my price. Then I get in. Then I get in. I call this patience. Some people call it consolidation. I don't call it that. I call it freaking patience. Because if you look back in time, look at it here, patience. All these candles, patience. That's a hell of a lot of patience, man. These are 4-hour candles. But look what happened if you were patient. Now what do you get? Boom, you get paid. Patience and paid. Right now, these are patient candles. Not a whole lot's going on because I'm on a 4-hour chart. Now, let me see if I can find mine. I really like TradingView. You don't need to be in TradingView. Did I lose my thing? New share. Screen 2. Can everybody see my TradingView chart? Okay, cool beans. This is the same pair, GU. Right, we're on GU. You're on GU. You better be on GU. No, I don't think we're on GU. Where were we? I could be confused. I'm allowed. Let me just check this. Yeah, we were on GU. All right, cool. I'm coming back. All right. So here's GU. The scanner gave me the pair, right? GU. It says GU's in motion. So I just want to show you some additional tools that are available to you. Here, I've got GU on a 4-hour chart. I got GU on a 1-hour chart. And I got GU on a 15-minute chart. Now, why? Why am I doing that? I'm a explain. Watch. Look at all this happy information I'm getting. So, if I'm about to trade, I'm going to look left And I'm going to see what this pair has been doing on my 1 hour chart. 1, 2, 3, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles is my last candle. 1, 2, 3, 4 is my last candle. You see how we're breaking it down? So if on my 4 hour, look where I am in my Bollinger Bands. I'm at the low, going to the low edge of my market. I still got a little bit to drop. And what I do here, these blue lines, this is the high and the low of the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. So now when I come over here on my 15-minute chart, I can see where I am between my high and my low of the day. Tommy, what does this have to do with the freaking harmonic scanner? Everything. The harmonic scanner gave me the trade. Now I'm showing you when I get in. When I get in. So here, look, I've got my SARS on a sell. My harmonic scanner was telling me buy. I'm waiting. This is why I'm waiting. Okay? So you don't need to have the TradingView chart, but I like to be able to drill into a little more depth because I can come in here and I can look. I have a lot of flat action here. This is patience for me. Might not be a time I want to trade. So I just don't trade. You know, do professional athletes spend more time in the field or in practice? Practice. You should be outside of trades 90% of the time looking to get in for 10%. You make all your money in the 10%. Right? If you feel like you got to be in 5 trades at one time, you always got to be in the market, all you're doing is putting your account at risk. The number one objective of a responsible trader is to safeguard your account. Do not take unnecessary risks, right? So I want to be out more than I'm in. So let's go back over to our harmonic scanner. I'm back in the scanner. So here's a very simple world, not a whole lot of stuff going on. For me to get into this trade, I'm waiting for at least this red SAR to flip on the bottom. Super cautious, I'm waiting for the red and the yellow, then I'll get in on my buy. So let's go do somebody else. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, hello, Tommy.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Dad, what we said?
I was just saying I'm trying to answer what comes in the chat. Daniel had a comment, and I think I covered it. But if he has more of a question, go right ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. I had another question here. Hey, Tommy. Now I know that you wait for the SARS to flip. Do you wait for it to also flip like in the 15-minute chart, or if they already flip in the 4-hour chart, do you jump in already?
That's a very, very good question because here I'm on a 4-hour chart, right? So if I'm taking trades on the 4-hour chart, then I'm waiting for this. This might not be ready till tomorrow morning, right? But I like scalping a whole lot more than a 4-hour chart. I just like the 4-hour chart to see where my trend is for sure. And I see that on my 4-hour chart, I'm getting close to the bottom edge of the market here. And that's totally in line with what the scanner is telling me for the buy. Because once I hit the low edge, once you have a candle or two close outside, like look over here. These candles close outside, stuff happens. Here, it did a little consolidation and went up. But typically, this is atypical. Typically, it looks more like this. When it closes outside for a couple of candles, it reverses. Let me look back. These are real close to closing outside. This one actually closed outside. This is right there on the edge, and it reversed. Here, this closed outside. Boom, it went flat. So this is a good time to discuss flat tops and flat bottoms as well. So guys, when you notice this is a flat top. Anytime you see a flat top, the price is going to reverse. A flat bottom, the price is going to reverse. We just don't know for how long, and for how much. But it always happens. And I don't ever say always unless it's really always. It always freaking happens, right? So even if you count the little dojis and stuff, here, even this flat bottom, the higher this candle and the higher this doji still reversed before it went south. So here is another indicator on this candle. Where am I? Yeah, I see, that's the other thing. One of the nice things that TradingView tells you, it tells you where you are in the candle in terms of time. Let me just come back here for a minute. Let me share.
Is there a way to get your Metro Trader 4 on your phone to tell you the time as well, or that's only a feature on Trading?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been using TradingView for so long, I just don't remember. If there is, I'm not that guy to ask. But what I wanted to show you here is this is TradingView. Yeah, and I do have a pro package because of the tools. Here on a 15-minute candle, right? And see this, 746, 744? That's almost halftime on the candle. At 7:30 is halftime of a 15-minute candle. And typically, at halftime, right now, if I'm in the lower half of the previous candle, it's going to continue down. There's another reason why I love TradingView, right? And look, let's look at over here. Here I'm over here on the 1 hour chart, and this is new, right? So this candle's just formed, but on the 30 minutes, I want to know where I am compared to this candle. Same thing with the 4 hour. At the 2 hour mark, I want to know where this candle is compared to that one. So now, on a scalp, I'm fairly confident I can come in here and take 5 pips out of a scalp, even though the harmonic scanner's got a call this a buy. Does that make sense to anybody? I enter all my trades off the 15-minute or the 5, even the 5-minute chart. Let's look at the 5-minute charts doing. Okay, and full disclaimer, I would never trade this pair. You know why I would never trade this pair? Got too many freaking numbers for me. By the time I get this loaded into my broker, it's like next Tuesday. This is like gibberish for me. So that's why I only do the JPY pairs. But here on GU, let's see what this is telling me. This is telling me I'm in the lower half of my Bollinger. My SAR hasn't touched yet. I'm still up here. Do I have 5 pips in here? I don't know. To me, my risk tolerance has not allowed me to take this trade because I get in, I want this pair to go down to here, right about the bottom of this wick. That's about 5 pips right there. There's a 90% chance in my mind it's going there. So just for giggles, what I do is I do a thing called a crosshair trade. And that's for exercise. So I'm calling this as a sell here. Boom. And I want 5 pips. So I just got in for 5 pips on this candle on the, oh, that's a 4 hour chart. Sorry. It should have been on my 5 hour chart. 5-minute chart. And you see how easy it is to make a mistake, right? Because look at this when you're on the 5-minute. Let's go to 15. And let me pull my 5 pips up. I got my ruler. 4, 5. So 5 is like right there. Oh, wait. Right. So now you see what kind of a long haul 5 pips is from here? But I have both my SARs flipped over to a sell, and we'll see if I've got room. There's no real money in here. This is an educated, speculation. I don't like using the word guess. But I do crosshair trades a whole lot more than even on my demo, right? So I still have my demo account. If I learn a new strategy, I go straight into demo. I don't risk any of my money on stuff I'm not 100% sure on because, number one, responsibility of a trader is to protect your account, right? So we'll let this crosshair trade run and see what happens with that, if I grab my 5 pips or not. And at this time of day, with the amount of motion that we're getting here, we're only getting 7 pips. You see how we measure that? Over all of these candles. It 15 minutes. This is several hours. I only got like 8 pips. So this is probably not going to happen. This would be a loss for me. And this is going to probably bounce up in what's called the Tokyo channel until Tokyo fires up and prepares the 20 or 30 pip move for London. So am I confusing just everybody on here right now? You can be confused. Just tell me and I'll straighten things out. Let's go back over to TradingView. My scanner. Everybody got the scanner back? Woohoo! Okay. Let's go do somebody else. Oh, well, let's see what this one did. If you guys just took this trade, let me get rid of this. Why can't this move? There you go. All right. So if you guys took this trade, whoa, it never hit. See, my entry is down here. So this is a good topic as well. This is UJ, right? Now I come in here and look at this, and if I just typed in what the scanner told me, my trade never engaged. But look what happened. It still went up into the buy that it said it would go into. So if we do the whole indicator thing and see where we are with Mr. Bollinger, see how these candles closed outside of the low end of the market? I would like to think 2020 hindsight makes everybody look like a freaking genius. So I'm not going to tell you that, yeah, 100% sure I would have taken this trade. But yeah, this is like a no-brainer. When these candles on a 15-minute chart especially are closing outside the low edge of the market, it's going to come back to the mean. And this thing's calling a buy. It just didn't hit its entry price. So in this particular case, this is one of the 2 out of 10 where the scanner didn't, perform, which is fine. But it still gave us valuable information if we put some additional tools up. Let me just darken this again. Properties, background. Here. Go darker.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So in this case, if your indicators hit before the entry point on the harmonic scanner, do you usually jump in at that point in time if all your other indicators are lining up?
I need to have confluence between the Bollinger Bands and my 2 SARs. I want all my guys pulling the rope in the same direction, right? And this is the way I view it. Everyone here has played tug of war, right? You guys play tug of war? You know that game? No? Nobody knows tug of war? Come on, you guys play tug of war?
Absolutely.
Okay. Right? So this is tug of war in Forex. The guys pulling the rope are your indicators, right? You draw a line in the sand, you tie a knot in the rope, okay? You're setting up the trade. Then you have one currency on one side of the rope, the other currency on the other side of the rope, and when you enter the trade, you pull the freaking rope. I want all the indicators on my side of the rope. If I'm doing a buy, I want the indicators pulling in my direction. So when I yank that rope, the price moves in my direction. Make sense? So here, at this point in time, my RSI, let's go back over here. At this point in time, the RSI was on its way up towards a buy, because that's what it looked like back then. So that's in my direction. I turn my SARs on. I'll just pull one of them up. Let's say R. Format. I'll do my fast one. Look where they are. So what's my SAR telling me? SAR's telling me buy. Everybody on the planet is telling me buy. So I'd like to think I would get in even though it didn't hit the scanner. So the scanner is still giving me very valuable information. And the other thing I wanted to show you about the scanner are the arbitrage trades. So here it's calling EA. And here it's calling EN. Euro AUD, Euro NZD. So if Euro AUD are in motion and Euro NZD is in motion, what do you think AUD NZD is doing? They in motion too. That gives you another trade to look at. So this is what I do. I come over here. Well, we said that was Euro AUD. So AUD NZD. Come over here, new share. Let's see, share. AUD NZD. That's the hardest part of the whole thing, typing in those letters in the right order when you're dyslexic. So, is this thing in motion? Hell yeah. Look at that. The SARS just flipped. It's telling me it's going to be going into a buy. Am I getting in now? Hell no. Why? My SARS, right? They're about to touch. So when these SARs touch, it's going to flip over. It might go straight down into a sell. This thing might drop. But this is another pair I can come and look at. This SAR is painfully close to the price. When you see it gets close like this and touches, it flips. Come over here, touches, boom, it flips. Touches, it flips. It touches, it flips. So when these two puppies touch and flip, I'll go in for the sell. I like trading sells a whole lot better than I like doing buys. Why? People panic. You ever hear of panic selling? Yeah. Right? People will do things more, are more motivated by mitigating a loss, cutting the loss, than they'll do for a gain. So people will drop out of this like freaking crazy when this thing drops into a sell. So, but what I would do, what I can do, is I can come over here and do my crosshair. And like that. So right about here is where I'd have profit. Come over here, measure that. Oh, no, I lied to you. It's more like here. Okay. You see how good I am at adding and subtracting pips when there's all these digits? I don't do it because my mind will not allow that. So if I'm looking to get in here and take my profit over here. But what I would do, notice I didn't put on this candle. I'm looking for the SAR to flip. The listing touches and goes in here and calls out the sell. That's what I believe is going to happen on that pair. Questions, anybody? We're almost at an hour, so I hope I didn't confuse the snot out of everybody and you got something of value in all this blabbering I've been doing. Anybody?
Yeah, just wanted to clarify, Tommy, that you jump in on the 15-minute or 5-minute chart usually when those indicators line up.
Yeah, I'll go to the 15-minute chart and do my entries on 15 minutes unless something's crazy I want to take. If I'm not 100% sure, I'll go to the 5-minute chart if I'm looking for a scalp. Like I can scalp on 15 minutes, but I can peek at the 5-minute and see if the 5 minutes in a trend. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like here, I'm on the 15-minute chart, right? And now if I jump to 5 minutes, look how different it looks. Boom. On the 5 minutes, it's already in a sell. And I'm in a pullback right here. On the 5 minute, it's been in a sell for a while. How cool is that? On a 5-minute chart, this doesn't look like such a bad move, but I'm way outside the low edge of the market. And this time of day, you'll notice that the Bollinger Band gets very, very narrow because the price doesn't have a whole lot of movement in it. So this is not my ideal time of day to trade. I like trading in London, the London-New York overlap. I'm usually flat by 11 a.m. I'm usually out of everything by 11 a.m. When I'm doing my trading. Anybody else? So if you guys want to mark your chart, go to AUD NZD and put a crosshair down at 1.05989. That's where I think this trade is going to end up going, and we'll see what happens over the next, hour or two. Anybody else? If nothing else, I'm going to wish you all a good night.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you, brother.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot, Tommy.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Hey, Ori, don't you have some things coming up for the team?
Yes, I was just about to announce it. For those of you that have not heard, because it's been posted all week, May 23rd through the 25th, we are having our first BYOB event here in South Florida with Mr. DJ. For those of you that have been following, you know that the last 2 days it's been fire. So we have DJ coming here Memorial Weekend. If you haven't already gotten your ticket, get your ticket because it's going to be a powerful 3-day trading and training by the one and only Mr. DJ. So that's what we have going on in May. And that's it. I'm trying to just again, hold on. Okay, 1 second. Does anybody have any other question before we end our call this evening? No? All right. Tom, thank you again for everything. Hey, Daniel. I see you. Have an amazing rest of your night.
Ciao, ciao. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, guys. Bye.
Good job, Tom.